Here's some breaking news on the strange, mysterious fog. The strange fog causes. Is this some kind of a conspiracy? Is this a natural phenomena? We're going to dive into all of this. So for this video, I'm going to first share some channeled information when I knew absolutely nothing about this that I included in the January 2025 psychic forecast that I posted on January 1st. So a couple of you guys asked me, what's this strange fog about? And I was like, what strange fog? So that night I went into channeling. So I'm going to read that to you. I'm going to analyze each point and analyze it from the perspective of, since then I've gone down a few rabbit holes, I'll put it that way, and I've done some research and see how what I was getting through channeled information, how that might relate to some of the theories that are out there. And then at the end, I'm going to explain what I think this chemical fog or alleged chemical fog is. So I need to put my glasses on because I'm going to be working for my notes. But the first thing is, the question is chemical fog even a real thing? And I wanted to quickly share a story, something that happened to me in 1992, driving from New York to Florida in the Carolinas. It was about 4 a.m. and I was driving along. I drove through this fog. It had a strange odor. I got really dizzy for a second, but I drove right out of it, and then I was fine. And at the time, I thought that because it was like 4 a.m. that one of the factories that was around there was just emitting something illegal and trying to get away with it. But now that this is going on, it makes me kind of wonder. But the point is that yes, chemical fog can be manufactured. So could this be natural? I'd say yes, but unlikely. But it can be natural because fog can settle over the same area for days on end if the weather conditions are right. And if fog sits over an area, it can absorb strange odors and even pathogens. But given the fact that it's been happening all over the world simultaneously, kind of makes me doubt that. But truth be told, yes, it's possible that it's a purely natural phenomena. So anyway, let me just go over the what came through in the channel. So first thing they were saying, happening for peace. Okay, I still don't quite understand that, but happening for peace, cleanup, neutralizing energies, absorbing energy, silica-based. That's very interesting, and I'll get to that in a second. Not harmful to humans, but can cause respiratory distress. This is before I knew anybody was getting sick, by the way, from this. And apparently, it might be a little bit more than that because people are reporting skin irritation and symptoms that last a while. I'll get to that for a second. Government doesn't want something to get exposed. Something connected with the drones. There will be a third part of this, so we'll explain that in a second. Possible smokescreen testing. That's very likely. Released through chemtrails, making this an aerosol, not really a fog. And a possible connection with the Gwen Towers with HARP, atmospheric manipulation, and possible connection to Project Bluebeam. The ETs were concerned, and the interesting thing that came through in that channel was I was seeing underground tunnels and places where human trafficking was happening, and cells or caverns that they were being kept in. And in that channeling, they're saying this is partly cleaning this up or cleaning something about this up. So that's what I got. So let me it's also worth mentioning that the fog from the photos I've been seeing in different places looks more like drizzle than a fog. The particles are too large to be natural fog from what I've seen. Again, I'm relying on other people's photography, and it appeared more like the size of drizzle. Yeah, fog has water vapors too, but you don't really generally pick it up like that. But anyway. Happening for peace. Okay. I still don't know. Is it some kind of white hat operation? Although they're more known to be like good Samaritans in the cyber wars or whatever, but freedom fighters. Is this needed to expose more behind the scenes? So that could be it. If there's the good, if you call them the white hats or whatever name you want to give, if there's the freedom fighters that are exposing all of the corruption and the ills of the world, could this be happening for that? That's what they were saying in the channel. It may not be a conscious effort. I still don't fully understand that point. If you do, comment it for us, please. Clean up. Okay, that was the next point. Neutralizing energy, absorbing it. Now the drones in another channel, and I did a separate video on that. I'll post that one to the end screen. That's kind of old, but it's still relevant. They were talking about the drones mapping out energy fields for whatever reason. And this could be cleaning up something toxic, some radiation, or something harmful like that. And the fog has shown up in a lot of areas where there were drone sightings also. So there's likely to be some parallel to that. Now, silica-based, reason that I find this interesting is that there's a theory out there that this is smart dust or some kind of smart dust, basically. I didn't even really know what that was. I had to look that up, to be quite honest. The only flaw in that theory is this is happening in large expanses of 3 different continents. I mean, to create that much smart dust, which is really nanotechnology, that would be an extraordinary engineering project, not to mention a really expensive one. So, yeah, that's part of the deductive reasoning. I'm combining deductive reasoning and intuition when I'm doing this. It just doesn't seem feasible, but not impossible. I'll get to that for a second. But I also find silica-based interesting because technology is silica-based. Again, I knew nothing about this. So the next part was government keeping something from getting exposed. Is that the drone operations? You cannot see the sky when there's a lot of fog, can you? Or operations around the drones, but something they don't want to see, smoke screens. There's a lot of fear projection. They want to create a lot of fear. When there's fear and panic, we're more easily controlled. And we're focusing on one thing, and then they're able to do other operations without our awareness because we're so focused on fogs and drones and stuff like that, or social media or whatever. But in any event, so possible smoke scare tactics, testing bioweapons. So that's possibility. People are getting sick. I'll get to that in a second near the end. Released through the chemtrails, so that suggests it's an aerosol. Maybe, and that they were kind of saying in the channeling that it was released through chemtrails, and then it's heavier and denser, and then once it reaches a certain atmospheric pressure or something, it becomes fog. Now, people, I've seen a few videos, very similar reports in England, US. Those are the 2 areas I looked in. A lot of them were saying it felt dry, didn't feel even moist. So that was interesting also. And then a connection to the Gwen towers or HARP, which is basically atmospheric manipulation. Some of it's disclosed, some of it's secretive. It could be also related to frequency programming. So if you have like smart dust, like nanotechnology suspended in the fog, there's a lot of programming. People are programmed. The powers that be want us programmed so that we don't awaken or we don't know what's going on. A lot of that happens through technology and through frequencies, like through the cell towers. Apparently the WEN towers also that's creates a low-level radio, Wi-Fi wave, or something to that effect. I'm not an expert in that, but that helps like the smart sensors, the smart houses, all that work better. But could it be something that's vibrationally programming people, manipulate? I think that there's some truth to that. So frequency programming. What else? I talk about maybe a connection to Project Bluebeam, which is the agenda to try to create fear around extraterrestrials. And and with that, that the disclosures are happening in a carefully planned time and way. So there's that. And they're saying the ETs were concerned, and they were watching it. They're watching it unfold. So this all came through in that channel. And then this is also very interesting with the underground tunnels, human trafficking, either cleaning up chemicals or radiation from secret ops or stuff like that. Because I was seeing them and things getting blown up and stuff like that. So let me go into my conclusion. By the way, if you're enjoying this video, please like it. Let's share it for more people. And if you want to see more of these types of videos from the Medium channel pop up on your homepage, then subscribe to the channel, and YouTube will do that for you. So first and foremost, spreading fear. I think that that's really a major part of this. We have to understand that the powers that be that want to control everything, control the money and the power, humanity awakening is their worst nightmare. That puts them out of business. So they are really working hard to try to prevent that and to try to continue, through like Projects 25, Projects 30, and stuff like that. In other words, centralizing power even further and enslaving humanity even further, basically. So stay in your power. Don't go for it. So let's see. Testing bioweapons. I don't believe, personally, be somewhat careful. It doesn't hurt to have a air purifier in the house, and if there's a suspicious fog, to try to avoid it. But what I was getting is that this isn't harmful, but it's a testing of some bioweapons. So there may be some kind of like technologically created viruses or bioweapons or something, but a version that would have an effect, but not necessarily be harmful in the long term with that. So technology concealed within. Now, another interesting thing is in some of these photos, there were some larger particles along with the smaller ones within the fog. And I did a little channeling, not last night, but the night before. And they're saying that there is some technology dispersed in this for purposes that I may have mentioned earlier. And that the larger particles would show up brighter or white or something like that under ultraviolet light or something to that effect. So why would they do that? So show larger particles, smaller ones. One reason is it could be disrupting signals because there's a lot of cyber espionage going out to avoid hacking and stuff like that, to control people or control the masses. And somehow I think it's also, again, working in tandem with the drone agendas, as it were, as well as distractions or cleanup from residue from underground ops. So some of the, if that's indeed true, if there's some technology involved with that, part of it may be concealing things, concealing bioweapons or stuff like that, or used to further program and use in some efforts to clean something up or to hide something based on operations going on. So again, that's what I'm getting. I mean, we don't know exactly the reason, but I'm putting my money more on this being more of a distraction and a testing process is happening, testing how people react, testing how certain things are working, and things of that nature. But you guys may have a different opinion, so please comment it down below for us. And on this side, let's see, we'll do a couple videos. So this will be the top 25 predictions for 2025, psychic predictions in 12 minutes. And yeah, I'll post that video. It's a little bit older, about the drones and what I was picking up before I knew anything about the drones. I think you'll find that interesting also. So I love you, thank you, and we'll see you in the next video.